Okay, I think we're recording now. Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to make a side view for a Graal head in specific. Now, so you may look at a head, you have your head front, or your front view of your head. You just made it. You're like, oh, this is so cool. What I'm just going to do is take this head, copy, paste it, and go like chop up the view here, bonk. Then make your nose. 1 second. You'll probably do it like this, right? Paste it onto the side, and then you do something like dun dun, and then dun 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 dun. Ignore this hair, right? Da 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 da, and then you like brute force it, bump 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 bump. Then you make like your side view. You probably do like something like this, to be honest. Where you take it and you go like that. And, oh. 1 second. Command C, Command E, paste that stuff, right? Okay, so let's say this is your side view. Very cool, right? Very speed runnable. It's not like the best looking side view, obviously. There are a few problems with this approach. Essentially, when you're just doing that, is you're taking this, right? We were to take this head and we were to print it out on a piece of paper. So we just take a piece of paper here, or make a piece of paper, right? We'll say this is a piece of paper in which our head is on, right? So when you take the piece of paper and you fold the piece of paper in half, right? This is what you get. You get half of the head. I'll pretend that this part is folded in. No, I'll do like the little detail. Right, we'll say your piece of paper is folded in half, right? Okay. You get half the head plus the missing portion, the part that you're trying to add on, right? Which is gonna look like a Frankenstein mess if you don't really know what you're doing, right? In order to have this method where you're doing the head and you're making the side view that way to actually work out well, you actually know what you're looking for in order to make the head. Right? And if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't know where to place the eye, where to place the mouth, where to place the nose, etc., etc. Right? So this method is not the most efficient for making a head for a beginner. Sure, it may seem like the least amount of work in theory, but it's actually more work because you then have to fix whatever you're looking at there, right? Which is pretty hard to fix. So there's something about the template here, and I feel the template is pretty hard to work with when you're making heads specifically. What I like to do is I like to take the template and change it. I like to, and then you can just paste it back to normal later, right? I like to change it to like a side profile here so that they're all side by side, and then I can just, have my portions line up, make guidelines. You'll see why I'll do this in a bit. I'll show you why. Let me just space it out a bit more. That's just how I prefer it. You can space it out however you like. You can set up the template however you like. You set it up diagonally if you want to. You can use it like normal if you want to. This is just how it is easier for me. So I'm just gonna do it like this, right? So space out my template, right? And then I have my head. I'll move it over here. Second, is that too high? No, okay, cool. So I have my head moved over here. What am I going to do next? I'll make a new layer. I'll call it guidelines, right? And with this guidelines layer, right? I'm gonna take this really saturated blue. It doesn't really have to be saturated blue. It can be any color you want it to be. I'm just making it blue because it's easier for me to see. Right, let me just move my preview window over to the relevant portion. So I'll just draw a straight line, right? Straight line, the top of the eyes, right, don't match out. The bottom of the chin matches out. The top of the hair matches out. This tip in the hair, you know, matches. And the top of this tip in the hair kind of matches, right? Now the thing about the guidelines for the Graal head is that they're not the same, right? They're not the same. So when you do guidelines for Graal heads, right, you will notice here that the eyes are one, right? You know, the top of the eyes here, right, versus the top of the eyes here, they're like shifted up by you know, a significant amount. There's like a 2 pixel shift up, or 4, however you count the in-between space here. So you gotta account for that, right? And how you account for that is you just shift it up. You shift it up 2 spaces, and you'll be being chilling. Do not worry. Okay. So once you shift it up 2 spaces, take my head and I get it back here. Okay, very cool, very neat. So I have my guideline, and I can actually change my guideline opacity, have it be lower, so they don't interfere that much when I'm making the side view of the head, right? I'll go to and put my head layer in front, right? You can do your side views on a separate layer. I'm just gonna do it on the same layer. 1 second. I'm gonna change it to just like head. Since I'm doing it on the same layer, keep it organized. So now another thing I see people do is they will take a head, right? And they'll be like, I must follow the standard template outline. Now following the standard template outline is pretty good, right? It will, you know, make it fit with most hats in game, but this method is pretty bad. Now, what do I mean pretty bad? You're not making a head. If you do this, you're just tracing a head that already exists. So I say, if you want to do it like in a way that's really great for practice when you're starting out, is I'll take the template, right, and just completely draw over it, like, okay. You don't have to do that. You can if you want, right? And you can like put down your pointers, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels away. 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels away, right? You're gonna have like the back of the head and like the basic template, and for the eyes, like in the basic template, you'll have them be somewhere like that. You can put down your pointers, something to get you started on there. But this way, it allows you to actually draw the head and focus on how to draw the head. So how do you draw the head, right? A lot of times when I draw the head, it's just like a circle, right? Because if you look at the head here, right, it's a circle on top. Oh, that's a really bad circle. But like, it's a circle or ellipse, right? Right, you got yours. Oh, am I still in the template layer? I am. Okay, whatever. You got your circle or ellipse, right, of your head. Then you got your bottom portion here. That's the jaw. You got your nose that sticks out. Your mouth that sticks out. And that's basically the head, right? And the eye rests in like that area, right? Now that's a very crude and shit interpretation of the head, but that is essentially what you're going to do when you make your head. So we're going to take the head, we're going to take this, we're going to max out the circling. Bum bum bum, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. Don't worry about the hair just yet. It's not important. Just yet. I'm just gonna do the more details. Sorry. Now you can just do this, or you can do this. It depends on how you like your chins, right? Boom, 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 boom. I'm not really gonna care about the skull too much. It's gonna be like more like this actually, right? Okay. Doesn't have to be the best ever. Just make it decent enough to work with. Have it be workable. Right. Sometimes I won't even worry about the hair portion, and I'll just like, I'll just take the hair portion, and I'll just make like a Minecraft box. Right. Minecraft box for hair. And then worry about the hair later, because essentially what I just want to do is have this side profile here. Sometimes it'll take a while to get to a shape that you're happy with, or a shape that you're okay with. Whatever, that's fine. It's completely natural. It will take time, especially when you're starting out, Sometimes it could be lower than what you wanted, right? don't be discouraged if it looks ugly, you know, like compared to the front view, because that's part of the process, right? Sometimes it will look uglier than the front view. I mean, like you spent a significantly less amount of time doing it than the front, right? At the start, it will look ugly. Do not be discouraged. So with eyes, you can actually, some people will copy and paste the eyes, right? They'll take the eye, they'll copy, they'll paste it, and that can work, right? You know, it works a decent bit of time. A lot of times you can just do that and not really have to worry too much about the eyes. Now, there's a problem with this, is that the eyes, right, when you're looking at them from a front view, they're like a ball, right? In like concave area, there's like your nose, there's like your eyes, right? Then this ball-shaped cavity, right? So when you turn that to the side view, the ball-shaped cavity is more like a triangle, right? You got your eyelids, okay? So some people will just copy and paste the eyes. If they're simple eyes, usually it works. What you can do is you can copy and paste the eyes if you want, or making them more like a bit of more triangle shape, or you can just draw the triangle to begin with. It doesn't really matter what option you choose as long as it works for you. Why are you looking so sad? You're looking kind of sad with this one. But, let's see here, one moment. Let me figure out what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing either. Da, da. Right, you don't have to get like that accurate of eyes, you know. Like if you're trying this hard on an eye when it's supposed to be like a cartoon eye, honestly, you can just copy and paste them. But like if you're actually trying on a more detailed head, you don't really have to copy and paste the eyes. You can use the method. I'm going to copy and paste the eyes here for this case because it's more of a cartoon style, right? And you're trying to make the eyes a bit more consistent with your cartoon styles, so they don't look like too out of place or too weird, too different, right? But yeah. So then I'm going to add like the eyebrows because I have not added those yet. Dun, dun, dun. Something like that, okay? Now you make the hair. What I like to do with the hair is you see your shading, right? I'm trying to make that line up, right? So a great thing about the Minecraft box method is you can just make the shading line up. Okay, you can literally make the shading line up, then carve your shapes, your different patterns, your fancy hair texture, whatever, and you just make it match whatever shape you started with. Try to go for the vibe. Try to match the vibe. Right. You can go with just gonna delete this portion here. Da da da. Da. Don't have to match like 100% of the time, but you know, try to make it consistent is all I'm saying here. If you make it consistent, you'll usually have a good time with making heads. They'll be fun. If it's not that consistent, then you'll have a bit more trouble. Right? Just try to keep the lines a bit more consistent. Right. So another thing you want to keep track of when you're doing the heads is you want to keep track of the bangs, right? It's not going to be like an obvious square. So, bump, bump, bump. If the bang is like a certain way on one side, you want to try and recreate that way. And you also want to try and recreate your distinguishing details. Like here I have like a little spike thing going on. Then I have like another spike thing going on down here. So I'm just trying to make that a bit more consistent. Here with the side portion. Just to make it a bit easier to follow. Right, you know. Something like do, and then you have it like your da, and then you have like your da, then you have like bum bum, and then you have like something like do, and do. Right. So here I have down, then I go up a bit, then I go down a bit, you know, I go down. I have another strand where I go down, then, you know, up a bit by 2, 4, bump. Something like I actually have like this little portion here. Sometimes you can just copy and paste the detail and it will be fine, right? If it's like an insignificant detail and copying and pasting it is faster than just drawing it by hand, then do that, you know? Make it easier for yourself. Don't make it harder for yourself. That's not what we're about doing. Like, why would you make it harder for yourself for no reason, right? If you can make it easier for yourself, then make it easier for yourself. But like, if you're just making it easier for yourself without knowing how to do it, or like why you're making it easier for yourself, then it's not as beneficial as actually just doing it first. And then after you get used to doing it, and you're like, wait a second, I can just paste this. Go and do that instead, right? It will make the process easier for you, so you don't have to, like, you know, learn how to do, you know, waste your time copying and pasting something you don't really care about a bunch of times, right? Because that's boring, right? And no one wants to do that a bunch of times. I know I certainly want to do that a bunch of times. So you should respect your time, but do it wisely. Respect your time, but like, you know when to respect it, right? I feel like this is actually too tall. It should be a bit down. There we go. Something like that, you know. And this is maybe too far. You know, sometimes it's great to just look at the work and be like, well, hold up, wait a second. This is too far. Hold up, wait a second. This doesn't work that well, you know. Sometimes when you look at it, it'll make more sense, right? That's why I like to have the preview window open, so I can look at it in like the regular size. You know, sometimes when you're zoomed in, you're not gonna focus on the whole picture, and that will allow you to become blind to some obvious mistakes, right, that are pretty apparent in the regular view. I could probably spend a bit more time refining the side view here. It's almost basically done. I'd say like there's some faults in it that I could work out. Right, but the majority of it is basically good. Hold up. Sometimes you'll experiment with how to do a side view. Like, oh, does that really look good? No, maybe I like it this way better. You know, I usually go through a lot of periods of that. But you might be better than me, bro. You might have like the exact idea of how you want to do it. You know exactly how you want to do it, and then you just do it, and you're just doing it epically, you know. Like it just works out. You know, that takes some real skill right there. To just know what you want to do, and then it just works out. Ja, dang. That's impressive. So I'll say that it's my side view. It's pretty mid, but you can work on a better side view. But basically, this is how you make a side view. Okay. Now, some key things to note when making your side view. The first thing is you gotta adjust the template, right? You adjust the template where you have the sides showing next to each other, side by side, with the front and back view as well. So you can draw guidelines, okay? And when you draw guidelines, this will allow you to keep the proportions of the head in check, right? Now, with Graal template, it's a bit weird, as we discussed. The guidelines are actually lower on the front view than on the side view, right? The side view, you have to adjust everything up, kind of like up 2 pixels or something like that, right? The other thing we discussed is that when you take a head, right, and you place it on a piece of paper, and you're essentially copying and pasting that piece of, what am I wrong way? When you're essentially copying and pasting that piece of paper, and then you fold it in half, right? You're left with half a head plus whatever you add onto it, this imaginary space here, right? You're adding your, I don't know, your side view, your understanding of the side view. You could be a Giga Chad. I don't know, maybe you can make like the most goated side view of this method. But I feel like as a beginner, you're not gonna make the most goated side view with this method. So nah, don't do it. It's not optimal for you. Just don't do it. Just stick to this method here. Construct your side view with your guidelines. Eventually, you won't even need to do the guidelines, and you just make it like that. Boom, 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 easy, speed runnable. All right, well, that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for the time.